Welcome. This is
Allastrology.
Yes.
And I'm Amy.
And I am G. And I am lighting the sacred sage for this free subscriber reading.
Okay, and the date of birth is December 9th, 1972, 9:42 a.m.
And the cat said, I'm out of here because the sage has set the tone
And
with our
she
goddess.
doesn't like the sage, and she's hungry. She wants dinner.
Okay, so we give free subscriber readings to all of our subscribers. Go down below, hit the link to contact us at our email, or you can hit us up on Facebook via Messenger, or you can just simply shoot us a text message with your birth info.
Yep.
On to the real deal. Did you announce the birth time, date, and place? I'm sorry, I didn't.
Yes, I
don't even know if
did.
you did. Okay, excellent. So let's move right along. We're going to go back. We're going to go a little bit back to the past. A little bit of history to validate who we are. So what we see in the chart that we're looking at is, actually there's two events.
Mm-hmm.
There is an event that occurred, you were itty bitty. Wee itty bitty. So like what, a couple weeks old?
Couple weeks old.
Couple weeks old, there was an event that occurred. Obviously you...
Like 2 weeks old.
Yeah, you might not remember this. I know I wouldn't. Although she would claim that she would know.
I would not.
I don't even try.
I don't remember when I was 2 weeks old.
So what you want to do is, maybe you have family around that can talk to you about, did something occur that happened? And this would have been something, honestly, it involved your mom. What I'm looking at is that it involved your mom. It definitely was a domestic thing. It was something...
Very emotional.
Yeah, very emotional. So, again, that's up to you whether you want to have conversations like that with somebody. Because it was, there's lots of things that happen with a woman after she's given birth. Mm-hmm. A new baby is very stressful. And I don't know if this was a first-time mom. I have no idea. But this probably would be pretty typical if that was the case, to see this in someone's chart, I would think, if it was a first-time mom. So, maybe you were a baby that cried a lot, and that always adds stress to people. My thinking is that's a really good possibility that might have been it. Who knows? But, yeah, you could always talk to family and find out. Another event that occurred that you may have recall and you may not, because you were still very young still. You were under 3. You were like 2.5 or something.
2.5 years old.
Yeah, there was an event, and we think from what we're looking at, we think that something happened to your body. So maybe you simply fell. Maybe you knocked out a tooth or something. Maybe you banged your head. It's definitely to the body, and most likely to the head. There was an injury of some sort.
There's definitely something that involves the head. Some kind of injury, some kind of illness. May have been an injury that was caused by something that was underlying. We don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
I really think it might have been something as simple as a fall. And I'm saying that again because there's this tangible, material, physical thing that's involved with the body, and what I'm looking at, it squares it, which means it caused it a stress.
Right.
So I really feel like it was a structure of some sort that, again, who knows? Kids at that age, they start walking and they fall down stairs. They do all sorts of crazy things. They got their legs below them and they're going.
Right. and I don't completely disagree. Mm-hmm. I think there's another layer of it because of the placement. Mm-hmm. That I think there may have been an underlying cause to what happened that probably your parents weren't aware of.
Okay.
That's just my feeling on it, just because of where it falls in the chart. That may have been the reason for the fall that caused the accident.
Spoken like a true Virgo. Okay, I'll go with that. The details connected to the details connected to the details.
Yeah. Well,
fair enough.
But I think definitely there's definitely something there. There's definitely something that involved the head. There's definitely something that involved physical structure,
Physical body.
the physical body. There's definitely, there are definitely things that are there. It's just me that feels like there was something else that was underlying all of this that happened.
All right. So now we're going to move up and talk about today. Actually, I kind of wanted to focus a little bit on the last month, only because I see some of the energy that went through there, and I see a lot of stress. I know, like for all of us, we had so many planets in Cancer, and this is a stressful time because it's our emotional world.
Cancer can be very stressful when there's a lot of planets in Cancer, because of the sheer fact that Cancer is highly emotional. It's connected to the moon, which involves ruling our emotions. And so whenever you're talking about Cancer time, if there's a concentration, now that doesn't mean that every year during Cancer time, during the time when the sun is in Cancer, that there's a huge concentration. There just happened to be that this year there was a lot of energy in Cancer, more so than usual.
And it was connected to things that we had to take care of part of this year and part of next year. Mm-hmm. So it became stressful because it was something that we're uncomfortable with, but we have to do. Right. And for you, it involved your work. This is what I'm looking at. So high emotions in the workplace.
Yeah, it involves not only your work, but it involves your work and how you think about your work and how it feels like home in a way.
Yeah, I was going to say, how does she think about work? Like home. There's like a part of it that you were very comfortable with.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking at, because Cancer represents nurture, home, mother. You know, all the things about home, our inner emotional world where we're safe, where we feel safe. And so this change that came about, and that you're basically being asked to step it up because this change has to occur, it involves how we think as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, and for you, it's definitely connected to thinking and your belief system. And you have an advantage because you have help in the way in which you think and the things that you believe in. You actually have assistance. There's like a sweet lineup, I like to call it, where we're given support from the universe that we can handle this. Right. We have the ability, and you have it. So
when we're talking about belief system is multifaceted. It's talking about what we think is right and wrong when it comes to how people are treated in general in the work world. It involves our belief system in terms of religion. It involves our belief system in terms of things outside of our religion. It involves our belief system in terms of our spiritual beliefs.
For you, I want to say something.
Everything.
Tying it into what she's saying about our belief system and how people are treated in general, because you have a mark in your chart where that is going to be very important to you. Yeah. Things being fair for the group, for the left and for the right. That is extremely important to you. Mm-hmm. It is something that, well, quite frankly, by looking at the location of your sun, you're going to speak your mind. You're going to be bold. And when it comes into the areas of relationships, important relationships, you're going to be downright outspoken. Yeah. You're going to be outspoken. And so that brings us up to date, okay? Yeah. Which is now that's all going to change a little bit. Now we have these fiery planets being lit up for all of us. But for you, it's in your significant one-on-one relationships, partnerships, which could include people at the job. It could include your intimate relationships. It could include friendships, but very close ones, okay? So you're going to be that fighter.
If in a good way. Seeing as you consider work like home,
yes,
then you're going to consider the people that you work with, like family.
Most definitely, that's your tribe.
Means that you're going to consider the people that you work with like your closest friends.
Yes.
Which means that you're going to fight like...
That's what I meant. You're going to be the one who's going to be willing to have the voice. Yeah. You're going to be the lion, as I like to do, who has no problem roaring about something that you don't think or you don't believe is
right.
fair.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not fair. So energetically, this is what we're looking at. But because of the positioning that's going to occur beginning the end of July, okay, we're going to feel more positive. We're going to, we are on the 26th already. Feel more positive, feel more optimistic. And in particular...
And that's really going to be true once we get to the 2nd of August. That optimism is really going to ratchet up and really it'll start to kick in even more. And then it'll really kick in. Let me get a date for you.
Yeah, dates. We want dates, baby.
Oh, hush.
Like August 11th, I think, is one of the good ones, because that's when Jupiter goes forward, right?
Yeah, August 11th when Jupiter goes forward.
August 12th.
And then August 12th when Mercury goes back into
fire.
Okay,
so August 12th is going to be really, you'll feel it. You'll feel like, okay, there's kind of a relief, because you're going to have understood something that you didn't understand before.
Right.
Like this scenario that you're in, whatever it may be. And it seems like it's been a concentration around the job. We see that. We know that because there was a buttload of planets sitting there. Now they're all moving and dissipating into this other area. And it's more optimistic. It's not so emotional.
Right.
Okay? It's moving out of all that heavy emotional stuff. And it's going to be more about lightheartedness and children and fun. And let's create. Okay, and so this is what the energy is that we're going to be moving into. And so there's going to be some sort of, I see things a little bit more clearly because I have a different perspective. I have a perspective I didn't have before, and I have that now.
But you're still going to want to fight for what you see as being the right way of doing things. And so you're going to want to be a little careful about how you say or how you phrase things or how aggressively you go at the people that are above you.
Yeah, and this is important because when is this happening? From now until 14th of August? Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is important. From right now, well, actually, it already started happening. Mm-hmm. This began already. When I say this, I know I'm pointing and you can't see what I'm pointing at. It represents tension. And so the tension already began with your assertiveness in having a fight mentality verbally, and your beliefs. So there's a tension there set up. And it's all about, I'm willing to fight for something.
Yeah.
But I want you to try to realize that a lot of it has to do with your belief. Not that it's wrong, but I want you to just get your mind in a setup where it's, how can I speak in a way where I will be heard by the most? Mm-hmm. Okay, so all you're doing is prepping your mind for that.
And
because
it's also about how can I speak in a way where I say the things that are going to come across in a way that are going to be the most productive so that I can say it so that it comes across the way I want it to come across, so that they realize my passion, my caring, my how adamant I am about what I care about, and yet at the same time so that I'm taken seriously.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a hard time doing that either.
That I'm not looked at as being just crazy, hysterical.
No, we're giving you the heads up right now. So it's from the thinking. And the tension in the thinking is just from it already began, but it's from now
until the 14th.
After the 14th of August, it won't be as intense. Mm-hmm. You won't have this tension going on with what you believe and others and what others believe. Okay, it's going to be more. It just won't be as intense.
Right.
Okay, you'll see it calming down a bit.
It'll start to calm down, and you'll be able to start to put together what it is that you want to say in the way that you want to say it that'll make more sense.
Yes.
And make it more palatable to the people that you need
palatable,
to
digestible, and then it can actually be processed and utilized and put to use.
Right.
And that's the beauty of being a Sag Sun, which you have it in groups, which is phenomenal because you're meant to be speaking in groups. You're meant to be very comfortable in the group atmosphere.
You're meant to be speaking for a group of people. So you're meant to be out there in front of people, being a voice
Networking.
and networking for a group of people. So
It's about higher learning matters as well.
Yeah,
It really is. It's
so-
about education, very much so.
So this is a perfect opportunity for you to begin to implement your need, your desire that is obviously there for you to fight for what you see as being justice, and for what you see as being right, and for working towards what is the right thing to do and the right way to treat people, and for you to fight for it in a way that is going to accomplish the goals that is best for everyone involved.
One thing I want to add to that, and then we got to cut this because we're already way over our free video time, but I want you to be aware, because I think it will help you in your own mind, is that you, in the way that your belief system works, you have the ability to see things that are way below the surface that others may not see. Mm-hmm. So something that is blaringly obvious to you, you see it because you have a special setup to see below the surface.
Right.
Okay? And so you can see how 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to equal how that eventually is going to get to 10. Other people don't see that, but you do see that. So realize that what you see is not on the surface. Mm. You see below the surface, and not everybody sees below the surface. It takes people usually a long time to get there. Okay? So with that said, we're going to wrap this up. So remember the dates that we gave you. Write them down if you need to. Rewatch the videos so that you know. And just know that things are going to get a little bit better. There'll be less tension. And if you ever need more information and you want us to dig a little bit deeper and look further out into the future, you let us know. Go down below and contact us.
All righty.
Thank you.
Have a good one.